This podcast is intended for mature audiences only. We explore topics surrounding sexuality, intimate relationships, and related subjects in an open and candid manner. Please be advised that we are not licensed marriage or sex therapists, and the content shared here is for entertainment and informational purposes only. If you are under 18 years of age or prefer not to engage with discussions about sex, relationships, or mature language, we strongly recommend that you refrain from listening further. However, if you are of legal age and comfortable with this content, we invite you to settle in and enjoy the show.
Hello and welcome to Beyond Monogamy. I'm Adam.
And I'm Pris.
And I was sitting here and I'm sitting here and I'm sitting here. And we were talking and talking and talking and we're trying to figure out all sorts of stuff. As a friend of mine likes to say, trying to figure out all the answers to the world's problems. And as we're sitting here, I'm thinking we have a lifestyle podcast here. And there's a lot of people out there who are new to the lifestyle and they've all got their own journeys that they've gotten started with for whatever reason, whatever came up.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody gets introduced to the idea of swinging at some point or another. And for everybody, it's different. It's a different age when that term is introduced to them.
Okay.
And, it's just kind of funny. Everybody has their own story on how they were first introduced to the idea of swinging. When was the first time that you really heard the term swinger, like when you really understood what that was
I was
and
older.
and when you were first introduced to it?
So I knew people could have other relationships very young
Yeah.
because my aunt was married, but every time we would go to my other uncle's house, her boyfriend would be there.
Aha.
And then I was like, okay, so who is this? But my uncle knew she had a boyfriend.
It was kind of in the open in a way?
Yeah. And so we didn't, talk about him. I don't even know how it worked, but I knew that that could happen. And I was like, "Oh, that's weird." I just thought it was like a Sancho. I always thought it was just like a side dude, not in a relationship type of thing. I assumed my uncle knew because everybody else
Yeah.
knew. But anyway, so I was young, but swinger, I was way older.
Is that right?
I think I was when I started.
When you
So
were first into the
18 years ago.
yeah.
Maybe 19 years ago is when I realized what it was, really when it made sense, what swinging was. And then you get on the websites and you start looking around. And I don't even know how it was introduced. I think I'm the one who said this would be fun to do. Like I
Really?
think I might have told him a story like I told you. And then that's it, man. Hook, line, and sinker.
You
You
manipulative
men are
bitch.
so easy.
How dare you?
Yeah, so it was brought up like that, and I don't know, immediately kind of regretted it after our first playtime.
Really? Was it that bad that you immediately
I
regretted it?
did, yeah, he was not the person for me to experience this with. It was a lot of shaming. So first of all, we were the people that you and I do not play with.
How's that?
We would go out, get smashed, and then find somebody to hook up with.
I see.
And then I would sober up in the middle of whatever we're doing, right? Because I was always driving. So I'd sober up, we'd take somebody home, and then it'd be like shaming me afterwards. You were such a slut. Oh my God, you're oh gross, you're a freaking lesbian.
Wow.
So a lot of shaming like that. So no, it wasn't a wrong
Doesn't
wrong
sound like a fun
wrong
experience.
person to start that with.
Yeah, yeah. How funny that and you would think that well, I guess that makes sense as to why when I expressed interest in doing it with you,
I was very hesitant.
you were very hesitant.
Yeah.
And it
Well,
makes
I
sense
was
because a lot
also
of your experiences were foul.
yes, and the person I did that with was pretty much my rebound.
Right.
So still extremely heartbroken, needed to do other things to distract myself.
Sure.
And I always hoped that somebody would come and steal him away.
Oh
Never
my god.
happened.
Wow.
Yeah, so with you, how did you find I mean, you knew of course you knew what swingers were already.
So, my situation was weird because, I was an over sexual kid, so I was constantly watching HBO Real Sex, stuff like that. Like I was very, very, very sexual, right?
Mhm.
And then one day I discovered my father's stack of penthouse letters, and he had a magazine in that stack that was a swingers magazine. And I didn't I didn't know what it was, and I remember reading some of the articles. And by this time I must have been middle school age,
Okay.
maybe, something
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
And so I'm reading these articles, and it's explaining wife swapping, et cetera, et cetera. You know,
Yeah.
lots of very explicit, kind of like Hustler. It was very explicit
Mhm.
kind of photos, stuff you wouldn't fully see in Penthouse. It was very, very
Yeah.
like they would show cum shots and things like that in the pictures. So did Hustler. You
I
know,
know, I used to love Hustler.
yeah, they were extreme hardcore.
Mhm.
And I remember in the back of this magazine, there was a bunch of pages that they were basically personals,
Oh, yeah, our friend told us about that.
Yeah, which is it was funny that I heard my friend say that because I remember seeing that in the back of this magazine.
Mhm.
It was like a classifieds ads almost, there was different personal ads,
Right.
and you could call a number. This particular one, I think there was a couple different ones there, but each one had like a 1-800 number, or maybe it was a 1-900 number. I think that made more sense. It was like a 1-900 number, and essentially you create a voicemail box,
Uh-huh.
and people that you're interested in the personals had a mailbox number. And so you could call the number,
Yeah.
and it says, "Enter the mailbox number of the person you want to leave a voicemail for."
Oh,
And
okay.
you'd put in their box number, and you would get their greeting, whatever they recorded, either as a single or a couple,
Yeah.
explaining who they are, etcetera. And you essentially as that was as social media as it could get at that time.
Back in the day, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because you could check your box messages
Yeah.
and that sort of thing, and
How
hook up that
cool.
way. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so that's how you start communicating with these people. And I thought that was interesting. And that's really where I first learned the idea. Then I started finding porno videos. And I found one of his porno videos that the idiot left in the VCR. And it was a swingers an intro to swinging video.
I'm sure he was a swinger.
I know. So I found out more about this, and I'll get to that in just a second. But
Okay.
but it was basically an intro to swinging kind of video. It was this couple. It's a porn that's set in the 80s, so it's dated, and it's this couple, and they're doing exactly as I said. They're
Mhm.
mailing off whatever it's a swingers ad that they're responding to because the wife and the husband had this conversation while they're having sex, and it was a real turn on. So they end up hooking up, and the porn is revolves around them hooking up with these two different couples at two different times.
Mhm.
But in between the sessions and before and after, they're always with each other having sex and literally talking about it while they're having sex.
Okay.
Wow, how revolutionary, because you know what? That's my shit right there. That
Yeah, I
gets me
know.
off.
I know.
And you and I do that quite a bit.
Yes.
Anyways, sidetracked. Moving on. So there's I see this porn, and it all kind of really starts to make sense, and I'm like, "Oh, okay. I guess my dad has a thing for wife swap or swinging or whatever."
Yeah.
Hey, fantasies are fantasies, whatever. Don't yuck another guy's yum, right?
Mhm.
So the years pass on, and my father, it's very obvious that he's not on the up and up as far as loyalty to my mother.
Mhm.
They often fight about, cheating. My mother's always claiming that my dad is cheating. My father leaves for work every morning at like 5 in the morning,
Mhm.
and he doesn't come home till like 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock at night sometimes. It's always, oh, I'm working late. And it is at his job, from a kid perspective, where he worked, they did operations 24 hours sometimes, so it sometimes made sense, but other times it didn't. He used to take a lot of weekend trips to Houston
I think we're having a
or to
therapy session.
Chicago. Well, no, but it all applies, so
This is your story on how you learned about swinging.
yeah, so
It has now become a therapy session for you.
so
Go
he
ahead.
so he took a lot of trips
Do it
to
to it.
weekend trips to different
Yeah.
towns,
Yeah.
and the idea here was, "Oh, well, I'm, taking a tour of this plant, and I'm meeting with these people here and this and that." Now, as an adult looking back on it, it all sounds like absolute bullshit.
Yeah.
Eventually, I grew up, I got older. It sounded fishy when I was younger. I grew up, I got older, and I ended up in that time when I was getting older, we had a very, I don't know, some sort of computer
Mhm.
that it seemed new, but it wasn't where we are with computers today.
Mhm. Right.
Is older.
Right.
And my father was not always the smartest technologically.
Mhm.
Okay. And so we were not hooked through the internet. Back then you had to be hooked through
A phone
a
line.
phone line through
Right.
your modem.
Mhm.
And, you had to have an email address like gmail.com. Of course, Gmail, it wasn't Gmail back then, but like what was it, inbox.com or, different ones.
Okay.
There was different ones. There were older ones, Prodigy, AOL.com, things like that. Like you needed a program for it to have an email.
Mhm.
So the one that was automatically installed with Windows was Outlook. In order to use Outlook back then, you had to have all of this stuff set up. You had to have your network set up, all this stuff that we did not have. So he thought that he was sending an email and it got saved in his drafts.
Mhm.
I guess he thought it sent and
Mhm.
it didn't. And I, being the curious kid that I was going through stuff and I find this draft of an email that was written and it was from him
Mhm.
to some couple.
Mhm.
And it was his stats that I now know now that we say often to our community members. And then he proceeds to go on and talk about how he is well endowed and that he loves to also suck cock. And that, I mean, at that, I had to have been about 16
Oh my god.
when I saw that. And now
So he was, what do you call them? The stags? No. What do you call
uh,
what do you
what?
call a single guy in the
A dragon?
no.
Yeah, a single guy
Oh.
in the lifestyle that can go either way. I was told they're called a dragon,
Hmm.
but I don't know. But he was that's when I first discovered, my father, that he was this big, burly, manly guy, very machismo guy, not the nicest man ever. As a matter of fact, I have a lot of bad things to say about him, but it is what it is. Anyways, what I'm saying is that I realized that my father was a closeted bisexual, um, in a world of construction, you know
Mhm.
what I mean? Which I found interesting, but it also is commingled in the swinger world because I think he was in the swinger world,
Yeah.
but he was cheating on my mom.
Yeah.
We had discovered that he had been cheating on my mom for several years, and it wasn't until, gosh, after 35 years of marriage that they divorced,
Mhm.
but he was cheating on her for most of that time. the real mind blow of it for me was that my mother cheated on him first. Boy, that story came out. That one threw me off. But all of it is commingled into the swinger, the swinger
Yeah.
lifestyle,
Yeah.
because I remember mom telling me that dad had talked about wanting to be a swinger, and she said, "No, I
Yeah.
have no interest in that."
Yeah.
And then she went on and cheated on him.
Oh,
And then to get his revenge, he ended up cheating on her for much longer,
yeah.
you know? How's that healthy?
Of
I'm
course.
sorry. How's that healthy? And, I grew up with that. I grew up with the cheater in the household, and I really I knew it, and I didn't like it,
I think that's how people see swinging at first when it gets
is
introduced
cheating, yeah.
is, "Oh, I can't." Because I remember thinking about it, and I was like, "Oh, I can't share you. I like you."
Yeah.
And so, yeah, it's,
And a lot of people feel like the whole sex thing is commingled with love, and
mhm.
they can't really separate the 2. And so it just becomes a thing that people are like, "Oh, I can't do that. How can you even have your spouse have sex with somebody else? Ugh." And then they turn around and they go cheat on their spouse.
Yeah. But even that, like, even if they don't go cheat, the thought of swinging is fun, but once you get in it, sometimes you just don't know how to deal with emotions, and if you don't talk them through.
Well, and that's the problem, is that there's a lot of emotionally inept people in the world that really don't know how to have uncomfortable
Oh,
conversations.
yeah.
They don't know how to speak their mind. They don't know how to openly communicate.
I
They know
deal
how to
with that
pretend.
I deal with that every day.
Yeah.
Every day.
Yeah.
It's like, just say what you gotta say.
I you know, it's almost as if we, as a people, overthink and overthink and overthink about people's reactions.
Mhm.
How are they gonna react to this? "Ooh, if I say this way,
Oh,
and if I
yeah.
say it that way, and this and that. Oh, maybe I shouldn't say anything at
I mean,
all."
as a woman, if a woman were to come up and be like, or the man come up to their woman and be like, I wanna have a threesome." "Oh, what, you don't like me? Am I not good enough for you?" You get
Yeah.
that insecurity. But I think if you tell a man, if if you tell the man, "I wanna have a threesome. I wanna have another woman involved."
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Well, see, so this is the issue that I had was, because being so over sexualized as a kid, and always, or maybe not over sexualized, I don't think that's the right
Yeah.
word, hypersexual. I was hypersexual
Yeah.
as a youth.
Here you go.
I don't know where I got that word. I was hypersexual as a youth, and so I always had pornography around. I always had porn, and it was always VHS or DVD.
Mhm.
I was old school because we couldn't download it yet. And, you know, a lot of what I saw on there was swinging stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, a lot of porno mainstream
Was a lot of.
involves that kind of storyline at
Mhm.
one point or
Mhm.
another. It's like, "Oh, yay, say hello to so and so. This is my girlfriend. Oh, wow. Oh, you got nice tits. Bow, 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 bow."
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's
Like,
it.
that actually sounded more like Seinfeld than anything else. But, you know, I had these ideas early on, and I knew that this was a thing, but it was kind of like a shameful thing,
Of course.
and it was never really mainstream. I wanna say it wasn't until the pandemic that it really started becoming more mainstream and more accepted
Yeah.
around 2010.
Yeah.
Not 2010, excuse me, 2020. What the hell? Sorry.
Yeah. No, you're right.
Yeah,
It got
around the
popping.
pandemic, yeah.
Mhm.
And it seems like almost everybody kinda said, "Okay, we've been stuck in this
We
house
are gonna
together.
try this now.
I feel like we need to explore our options."
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And, it's good for people and it's bad for people. Um,
Yes.
I have talked to people who it has changed their marriage in such a positive way. Hell, I think we could say that it's changed our marriage in a positive way. Wow, really? That was supposed to be an out the gate
I think
yes.
we had a good marriage either way. It has.
Yeah, no, I didn't say that it was taking us from a negative to a positive. I'm saying that it impacted us in a positive way.
Yeah.
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 It made us better than we were,
Yes.
you know,
Yeah.
because it forced us to.
Mhm. And we grew up just doing it because
Yeah.
I mean, my sexual encounters, I didn't have a lot. I was married
Yeah.
and then married again, and then you.
That's true.
So, yeah, get to have all my fun now.
You get to have all your fun now.
Mhm.
And, it's not just sexual, it's also changed your way of thinking and empowered you a lot, wouldn't you say?
Yeah. Yeah. I'm very vocal now.
Yeah. Yeah,
I think that yeah, it helped.
you've learned to embrace your voice.
Yes. Yeah.
You've learned not to keep so quiet.
No, yeah. Yeah.
And I think those are all positive things. I
Yeah.
think those are positive impacts. Unfortunately, it's not always positive for people.
No. Mm.
I
We've
I
had
know that it's not positive for people who have had past indiscretions.
well, that would be me.
No, I mean in the
Like,
couple,
for
with the couple.
sure. I
Um,
mean,
yeah,
for us, it started off, like, with so many we would always go backwards. We
yeah.
would be at a certain point, and then something would happen, and we'd go backwards. Something would happen, we'd go backwards. And so things like that, yes. But if you and I had, like, infidelity
Yeah.
and then decided we were gonna do this, there's no way this would work.
No, no, and I've seen it time and time again where, it's difficult for one of the members of the couple because the other member had a past indiscretion
Mhm.
a long time ago,
Mhm.
and it was something that stayed with them, and
And
so then
then
all of a sudden, the insecurity is there,
yes.
and it's deep-rooted, and if they weren't in this lifestyle, it probably wouldn't really come up again.
Yeah.
But because they're in this lifestyle, it's up, it's in the forefront. And they can either hold it in until it causes resentment and they act out, or they can say, "Okay, yeah, no, we can't do this.
We're
This isn't
done.
for
Mhm.
us." Yeah.
Mhm. It's hard to walk away.
Yeah.
Some people find it very hard to walk away.
Sure.
It's,
Sure.
I mean, I remember trying to or we walked away, and then I was like, "Oh, can we do this?"
Yeah, I remember you
Yeah.
had a discussion with me.
Yeah.
I mean, I felt like we could do it.
Yeah, we can.
But you felt like that when we stopped being poly too. You were very worried about whether or
Yeah.
not I could do it.
I'm also at that point where it's just take it or leave it. Life is life.
Life is life.
Life is life.
We're both on the same ride.
We are.
We're taking it together. We're having a good time. What the hell?
I can pull you off anytime.
And likewise,
Yeah, anytime.
likewise.
That's the good part about it.
But what's awesome is that we're just growing.
Oh, for sure.
Everything that we're doing, we're growing with it.
Mhm.
There's new experiences that are coming up every day. You're getting better at flirting with women. I got to tell you,
I am.
you are.
Yeah.
You are. There's something that has happened recently that just seems to have boosted your confidence a bit
Yeah.
and given you
And I
that.
like when it's reciprocated.
And that's been happening too lately, hasn't it?
Mhm.
Isn't that something?
I know.
Yeah, confidence is sexy, mon ami.
It is.
Yeah,
I'm aware.
yeah, you need to wear that color more often because it looks good on you.
So, yeah, no, being introduced in the swinger world is definitely an up and up for
Well,
some people.
you hear different stories. That's always my favorite icebreaker when talking to a new couple is how did you get introduced into the lifestyle?
Mhm.
And some of the stories you hear are fucking zany. Like, we have heard some crazy friggin' stories,
Mhm.
and then we've heard other stories that have just been so, we were just sitting up, something came out on TV, and it was like, "Hey, you wanna give this a try?" "Yeah, sure."
Why not?
"Why not? Let's do it."
Let's try it.
Yeah, and then, there's other stories where it's like somebody's being chased with a knife and there's something going
Yeah.
on or somebody got arrested, It's like you hear some
Yeah.
crazy
Yeah.
stories, man.
Yeah.
And everybody has a different story as to how they were introduced to the lifestyle the first time they hear about it. some people are very turned off by the idea initially, and then eventually it comes to the forefront.
Yes.
Some people are very against it, and then they learn that when they drink, they become very bisexual
Yes.
and very easy.
Yes.
And then they decide, oh, hell, somebody took me to a sex club and I really liked it.
We had a friend who said that she had sex with women, and that afterwards, when they were drunk, afterwards it'd be like, "Ugh, if I was drunk, I wouldn't have done that." I was like, "Weren't you at a swinger club? Like, that's gonna happen."
Well, I remember when I was, gosh, I must have been about 16, 17. And so I'm in high school, and I was one of those AOL kids. I was in the little chat rooms, clickety clack, clickety clack.
Mhm.
And we would have our little groups of friends, and yeah, cyber sex was a thing. It was. And I remember there was a girl that I started talking to, and we traded numbers and we started talking on the phone. And she too, she went to a rival school, and we knew some of the same people, but we would talk on the phone quite a bit, and we would it would get sexual, and we would talk sex, and we would have phone sex and that sort of stuff. And I remember her telling me about her parents. She said that her parents were swingers.
Mm.
And she said there was a nightclub in our old neighborhood that shut
Oh, that's
down.
right.
Yeah. Yeah, it was like a McCaw's or something
Macaws
like
or
that.
something,
Yeah.
yeah.
And it was a swingers club after hours is what she
Mhm.
told me. And that she had found out, she caught her parents in the act once with another couple. And that's how she found out that they were swingers. And then they were like, oh, well, we're busted. So this is out in the open now. This is what we do.
Mhm.
So she knew about it. And I think it's because of that as to why she was very overly sexual.
Mm.
Now, when this is also the same girl that when we would have phone sex, and I mean we were like 17. We would have phone sex and she would tell me to call her a dirty slut and a whore and all this stuff. And I was like really uncomfortable with that. I was like, okay. And then she would tell me, oh, and I'm going to want you to shoot your cum in my hair. And I'm like, well, that would get sticky, wouldn't it? Like I was just, she
Yeah,
was, she
yeah.
was,
It just
she was on a very
different level.
advanced level
Yeah.
from where I was.
Yeah.
Um, Sexually, I wanted to be where she was at, but I was not there. I
No.
was not there. But I remember her telling me about that her parents were swingers and that they would go to this bar, and that after hours it became a swingers bar. And that was believable because in that intro to swinging porn that I was telling you about,
Mhm.
one of the scenes was that they go to this bar and the bar shuts down after hours, and the people that stuck around after hours, the bartender brings out these mattresses and sets them on the floor, and everybody just gets on the floor and starts fucking around.
Nice.
Isn't that crazy?
That's fun.
That's correct, and that's fun. Like, you've done that
That
before.
sounds like
Get
fun.
lost. Now,
Sounds like
would
a
you
lot of
ever do a key party,
maybe. Yeah.
you think?
I'm down. I'm very
See,
transactional.
these things, they don't really happen very often. I mean, I think they're more or less called now, they're called, down to fuck parties or DTF parties, but
Mhm.
this term swinging was really first started back in the 40s and 50s.
Mhm.
It was after, World War II, and all of these soldiers came over, and, they were kinda living their life, man. They were doing their thing, and so that's where the term swinging came
Mm.
from, and that's where it got introduced,
Okay.
and it kinda went from there. But these soldiers would come over, and they would take part in key parties. That's where it started, these key parties, and everybody would put their keys in. The guys would put their keys in the guy bowl, and the women would put their keys in the women bowl, and the guys would just pick out a set of keys, and that's the girl that they're taking to their room.
Yeah.
And the girl would go, and vice versa. That's the person that they would take to their room. And it didn't matter if you found them attractive, if you
It
liked
was
their
very transactional.
personality, it was transactional.
My kind
You
of
took them
thing.
to the room, you fucked their lights out, and then you moved on.
There you go.
Now, would you be able to do that?
As long as everybody had good oral hygiene
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
everybody was clean,
Yeah.
I could.
Really?
I'm again very transactional.
Gosh, I would the thought excites me. I will tell you that. The thought excites me. The idea of kind of being
You can't do that anymore. You
I
used to.
I'm saying the thought excites
Yeah.
me.
Yeah.
But I mean, you jumped the gun. I was gonna say that too.
Yeah.
I don't know if I could rise to the occasion. Now, hey, give me a Viagra
Well, yeah.
and then yeah, easy peasy.
Yeah.
Oh,
I mean, you
motherfucking
probably
dice.
could rise to the occasion with a little help,
It depends on the
not
person.
even with
So,
medication. Like,
well, if I feel like this person's, like, really going, "Okay, come on, man. Get it hard. Let's go. We
yeah.
gotta move."
Yeah.
Like, if they're transactional like you are, which
Okay,
is, "Come on, bro. Let's get this going."
I am not
I'm not gonna feel very good about
like
that.
that.
Okay, maybe you're not like that,
I'm
but
not
I
like
don't
that.
know, man. I mean,
You've been there.
yeah, that's true.
I am very sympathetic to men when they cannot get hard,
Okay.
but understand you can't get hard. Don't over analyze a situation. Let's just sit back. It happened this weekend,
Yeah. Yeah.
and I don't care. It was a lot of fun just chilling, relaxing, enjoying their company, you know?
Boo got passionate for a second
I
there.
did.
You always get passionate with me, girl?
You always get passionate.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Always?
always.
Always? So you gonna flip the tables on me?
Yes.
It's not even right.
But
That's
yeah,
the kind of relationship we have. That's how
whatever.
you gonna do that's how you gonna do me? You get passionate on me? Don't get passionate on me, girl. Don't do that. Nobody that's not an attractive side of you. We're trying
Excuse me?
I'm just kidding.
What did you just say?
Oh my gosh. I'm joking. Goodness gracious, man, somebody took her serious pills. You shouldn't have left your sense of humor at home, I gotta tell you. Can we give me that look, girl?
Keep it
Oh,
up.
gosh.
Keep it up. Let's see.
I think that's a good end to our show. Guys, thank you so much for listening to us. I don't know why at this point you are still listening to us, but thank you for doing so.
It's your
Y
therapy section.
You are in
That's
my
why they love your
therapy
voice.
session,
It's your therapy session.
not my section. Thank you so much for joining us this week, and we will see you guys next week.
Bye.